Naomi Jackson stepped into the gleaming lobby of Cromwell Corporation, a mop in one hand and a bucket in the other. Her brown skin and natural curls framed her face, radiating a quiet confidence beneath her composed demeanor. In the plain blue uniform of the cleaning staff, her ID badge clipped to her side, Naomi's sharp and observant eyes scanned her surroundings. But don't be fooled by appearances. Naomi wasn't just there to clean, she was there to change the game. This is the story of a woman who defied all expectations, a woman who took control of a corporate empire from the ground up. Naomi, with her calmness and determination, wasn't just there to perform her daily tasks. Today, she had an important mission, to observe the empire she had once only admired from afar. But this time, Naomi was not just here to admire, she was here to transform it from within. As Naomi walked to the janitor's closet to gather her supplies, she observed the social hierarchy of the company unfolding before her eyes. Lower-level employees moved quickly, heads down, trying not to draw attention, while the executives strode with an aura of untouchable authority, barely acknowledging anyone outside their circle. Naomi exchanged polite nods with a few staff members, receiving dismissive smiles before they hurried back to their work. Most people didn't even notice her, which Naomi knew was perfect for her plan. When she reached the supply closet, Naomi paused for a moment, her lips curling into a secretive smile. This was the moment she had been preparing for months, even years. No one knew that Naomi had quietly and strategically acquired the majority shares of Cromwell Corporation, avoiding any public attention. She had played her cards with precise accuracy. Today, Naomi wasn't here as a mere cleaner. She was here to understand her company from the perspective of those who kept it running, the people often overlooked, just as she once was. Naomi had been raised by her mother, a woman who worked 2 jobs cleaning houses and offices, much like the work Naomi was doing now. From a young age, she understood that society often saw women of color like her mother as expendable, invisible labor. However, her mother also taught her that strength came from understanding her worth, even when others didn't. Naomi took those lessons to heart, pushing herself through college and business school, mastering the rules of a system that wasn't built for her, always keeping one goal in mind, to control her own destiny. Grabbing a rag and spray bottle, Naomi wheeled her cleaning cart down the hallway, heading for the elevator. As she passed through the bustling corridors, she overheard snippets of conversations about deadlines, meetings, and the usual office politics. But she also heard whispers, the ones that made her heart tighten. The rumors about the new cleaning lady. "Did you see the new janitor?" a young receptionist whispered to her colleague as Naomi passed by. The colleague shrugged, her tone dripping with casual disdain. "She'll probably be gone in a week. You know how these executives treat the help, they barely see them." Naomi heard this, her grip on the cart tightening, but her face remained composed. "Invisible, huh?" she thought. "That's exactly what I need." Naomi took the elevator to the top floor, where the executive offices overlooked the rest of the building. She had always known that power wasn't just in the numbers on a spreadsheet or in the titles on office doors. Real power came from understanding the game from every angle, especially from the bottom, where people were often written off. When the elevator doors opened, Naomi stepped into a world of polished suits and crisp ties. Through the glass walls of the boardroom, she could see the leadership team of Cromwell Corporation seated around a grand table. These were the people she had always thought held absolute power, but in reality, they were mere pawns in her game. At the head of the table sat Nathan Blake, the CEO, exuding confidence, his silver hair neatly combed and his expensive suit radiating authority. Next to him was James, the CFO, known for cutting costs without a thought for the people behind the numbers. Richard, the head of marketing, was the smooth talker who spun grand stories about the company's success. Finally, there was Oliver, the operations manager, known for his rigid and sometimes abrasive approach to efficiency. As Naomi passed by the boardroom, she overheard them laughing about a recent merger and the hefty bonuses they were expecting. Nathan leaned back in his chair, smug. "Hard work pays off, doesn't it?" He looked around the room, clearly pleased with himself. James chuckled, raising his glass. "More like smart work. We know how to play the game." Richard leaned back, smirking. "Yeah, smart work. That cleaning lady downstairs probably thinks this is as close as she'll ever get to us." Oliver's voice dripped with disdain. "Some people are just born to scrub floors and clean up after the rest of us. Life's not fair." Their laughter rang out, confident and self-assured. To them, Naomi was nothing more than an invisible part of the office scenery. They had no idea that the woman they were laughing at was the one who now controlled their futures. Naomi's face remained calm, her hand steady as she wiped the windows outside the boardroom, but inside she was filing away every word, every insult, every moment of their arrogance. These men thought they had built an empire on their brilliance alone, but in truth, they had built it on the backs of people like her mother, people who worked themselves to the bone with no recognition. As the day progressed, Naomi made her rounds throughout the office, her presence remaining largely unnoticed. She watched carefully as the executives strutted down the corridors, and she paid special attention to their conversations and their interactions with employees. Each encounter served as a valuable insight into the company's internal dynamics, insights that would prove crucial once she took the helm. She overheard a group of junior employees in the break room discussing their latest struggles. They were frustrated with the lack of support and the unrealistic demands placed on them by the management team. One of them, a young man named Marcus, spoke up, "I swear, they just keep piling work on us, but we're not even given the tools we need to succeed. It's like we're expected to fail." His friend nodded in agreement. "It's true. And they just see us as numbers. No one up there actually cares." Naomi listened from a distance, her heart aching at the familiar sentiment. She knew exactly what they were feeling. She had once been in their shoes. It was in moments like these that Naomi felt her resolve solidify even further. She wasn't just taking over Cromwell Corporation for herself. She was doing it for all the people who had been ignored and underestimated, just like her mother, just like those junior employees. Later that afternoon, Naomi made her way to the executive lounge. She entered silently, her eyes scanning the luxurious space, soft leather couches, sparkling crystal glasses, and an assortment of fine liquor on the sideboard. As she cleaned, two executives entered, unaware of her presence. They were discussing their disdain for the lower-level employees. "Honestly, if they can't handle the pressure, they shouldn't be here," one of them scoffed, pouring himself a drink. "We need people who can thrive, not people who crumble at the slightest challenge." The other nodded, "It's survival of the fittest. That's why we're at the top and they're not." Naomi's jaw clenched. The casual cruelty, the arrogance, it was exactly why she was doing this. She finished cleaning and quietly slipped out of the lounge, her determination only growing stronger. The next morning, Naomi returned to the office, still in the plain blue uniform, but this time there was an unmistakable fire in her eyes. She passed through the lobby with her usual grace, but inside she was brimming with anticipation. The time for silence was over. As Naomi ascended to the executive floor, she noticed the tension in the air. The executives were already gathered for their morning meeting, undoubtedly plotting their next moves, but what they didn't know was that today, Naomi would make her own. She pushed the boardroom door open, her posture as confident as ever. At first, none of them looked up, just the cleaning lady again. But when she didn't move to clean the windows or sweep the floors, Nathan frowned, his impatience bubbling to the surface. "What is it?" he asked, his voice clipped and dismissive. Naomi's gaze locked onto his, unblinking. "Actually, Mr. Blake, I'm here for the meeting," she said coolly. The room fell into stunned silence. Nathan's brow furrowed in confusion. "The meeting," he echoed, glancing around at his colleagues as if to confirm that no one else understood what was happening. Naomi reached into her pocket, pulling out a folded piece of paper, and calmly placed it on the table in front of Nathan. "Yes," she replied, her voice steady. "The meeting where I inform you that as of this morning, I am the majority shareholder of Cromwell Corporation." Nathan's face drained of color. He grabbed the paper with trembling hands, his eyes darting over the words as if searching for some mistake, some way this couldn't be real. But it was. This is impossible," he stammered, his voice trembling. "How could you?" Naomi crossed her arms, her chin held high. "While you were busy laughing at people like me, I was making moves, quietly, strategically. And now, I hold the controlling shares of this company." Richard leaned forward, his face a mix of confusion and fear. "This has to be some kind of joke," he muttered. "You can't just—" "Oh, but I can," Naomi interrupted smoothly. "For too long, you've led this company with arrogance and a complete disregard for the people who actually make it run. But today, all of that changes. Today, Cromwell Corporation belongs to me." The executives sat in stunned silence. The power they had believed was theirs, untouchable and absolute, was slipping from their grasp, and they had no idea how to respond. Naomi smiled, a smile that spoke of patience, long planning, and justice finally being served. From now on, things will be different. You see, I'm not here to play your game. I'm here to change it. Naomi succeeded in turning the tables, from being someone who was dismissed to becoming the one who held the most power, delivering a powerful message about patience, determination, and the ability to change one's own fate. We must never underestimate anyone, regardless of their skin color or social status, because we don't know who is truly capable of what. Therefore, we must always live humbly, simply, and show respect to everyone around us.